The following video has been created without the use of AI. Please support your human content creators by liking the video and commenting something down below. Subscribing is optional. Now please, enjoy the show. It has been years since the pizza Plex had been ruined, and even longer since it had attempted anything involving water and animatronics. One might think that machines and the cool and wet didn't mix well, but submechanophobia existed for a reason. Water and animatronics did work, it just required certain precautions. But you had a plan. Acquiring the franchise package was difficult. It just sounded too out there for the executives of Fazbear Entertainment. A franchise that wasn't just a restaurant and entertainment place, but rather a spa and swimming pool. Who would even go there? But one day, you forced it. Putting actual money on the table after selling your car and house, to which they finally folded. Money does move the world around, doesn't it? You set up near an upper-middle-class suburbia, used additional funding from Fazbear to expand on staffbot programming to include giving massages, swimming instructions, cleaning swimming pools, etc. But by the time it came to actually getting a main animatronic, you had blown most of your budget and could only afford the necessary paperwork to get and modify a daycare attendant. Specifically, a modified moon model, as you felt that was quite fitting. The animatronic had 3 modes, playing spa-appropriate music, massaging, and caretaking. And finally, you added a modification to his legs, which allowed for something called Mermaid mode, which turned him from a land-walking base model to a fish-tailed waterproof animatronic and entertainer. The franchise had 2 main areas, the pools at the center, and a genuine spa area with massage tables, saunas, and bubble baths in the back, even some hot tubs. With a Fast Club membership, people were given backdoor entrance to immediately enter the semi-luxury spa, without having to go through the more entertainment-focused pools. Since you only had a moon animatronic and a bunch of staffbots, you were forced, but also fell in love with the idea to theme the entire place around space. Your franchise was mostly made up of dark blue colors, thousands of tiny light arrangements to give the ceiling the appearance like it was the night sky. The pools were lit up in a way that they appeared sci-fi, meaning lights were strategically placed to give the pools a turquoise glow. The water slides, which we had a total of 3 of, were bright blue, dark blue, and black. And your staffbots were dressed up like spacemen. At least in the pool area. The spa itself was more traditional, with wooden floors, white walls, and waiter staffbots programmed to give massages. Meanwhile, you yourself lived in the franchise's basement. Selling your house turned out to be quite the life-changing thing, after all. You had created a little place in a janitor closet in the franchise storage area. You had a bed, a small flat-screen TV, and clothes. And work had become your life. The spa did good. Not great, but you managed to just barely get enough memberships and visitors for Fazbear Entertainment to not shut you down. And life turned from unbearably hard to your new normal. And you're very proud of yourself, even though you quite literally lived at work. It was late at night. Today you had a birthday. Some rich brat had rented out the entire pool space. It was super rare something like this happened, and it was always annoying having to send regular customers home because someone paid the huge fee to rent out the place for the day, but hey, it was really good money, even though it was quite stressful. And finally you sat down in your own bed, ready to end the day when suddenly a knocking made you jolt up. You had made absolutely sure there was no human left in the building, so a knock was the last thing you expected. Thankfully, your worry was misplaced, as when you shakily opened the door, you were met with the big, smiling face of your very own Moon animatronic.
Miss Manager,
he asked, while tapping his fingers together. Moon, what are you doing here? You looked around. You shouldn't even be down here. It's dusty and... He raised a hand.
Please, Miss Manager, I'm not here to fight.
You tilted your head. By now you had been used to the machine's antics. Fazbear Entertainment was very well known for their close-to-life-like machines that acted on their own accord.
I was concerned. Yes.
He nodded. Concerned? About what? The machine placed a hand on his chest.
I have been modified to identify discomfort, and you looked very uncomfortable for some time now. So I felt it appropriate. It's time to speak to you.
He tilted his head. You let your shoulders hang with a quiet, confuffled expression.
This is a place of comfort, yes. So why should everyone be relaxed and comforted but you?
Moon, He grabbed your shoulders. While meant to be a show of empathy, it did feel quite threatening. After all, he was what? He was 7 foot tall. Huge, even when hunched over. You looked into his red glowing eyes. In the dark of the storage behind him, it looked very squarey.
Please, Miss Manager, let me make you feel better.
He begged, and you closed your eyes. Inhaling. One of the rules in the animatronic manual stated that sometimes animatronics' antics had to be followed through to keep them at peak efficiency. And well, having him not worry about you sounded exactly like something that would keep him efficient. Fine. You said in a flat, defeated tone. Moon finally let go of your shoulders to excitedly clap his hands.
Oh, goody. Please, Miss Manager, allow me.
He bowed before you and waved towards the elevator on the other end of the basement. A little reluctant, you wandered towards it, him closely behind you. I have a question. Why doesn't your system recognize me as an employee? You shouldn't treat me, like a customer. He blinked. When he didn't answer immediately, you turned to look at him.
Due to your status as my owner, I'm allowed to give the following information. All Fazbear animatronics that aren't considered staff have a friendship value function. It's to simulate a bonding experience with customers. However, this applies to any employee whose rank is above the pay grade of a low-skill worker. This includes security guards, management, and engineers. In my internal folders, you are considered management as the owner of this modified daycare attendant model.
He sat like he was reading a manual, and he answered your confused look by spinning his head 180 degrees. Usually this information is not allowed to be shared to continue the illusion of us having true sentience, and not a simulated one. Yeah, you just broke my immersion. You said dryly as you chuckled to yourself, finally stepping into the elevator. For a moment you quietly stared, before saying, "So what's my value?" He blinked, turning his face into his original position.
Well, it's high enough to want to be nice to you and make you feel better.
Considering the long and varied history of the daycare attendant animatronic line, this meant a lot. Quietly, almost meekly, you walked towards the spa area, the machine closely behind you. Well, you did get good reviews, and your friends who did try the machine's massages all had positive things to say. So with an awkward expression, you sat down on the massage bench. Moon's hands had been modified with small semicircles in his palms, like a cat. After lubing them up with oil, they spread out the pressure of his hands just right. Expectantly, he looked at you, and then you nervously took your uniform shirt off. And your bra, lying down stomach first. After hearing the sound of silicone-covered robot hands rubbing together with the slick sound of oil, you could then feel his hard, mechanical hands press down on your back. Just one move up and down was needed for you to groan and him to comment,
Miss Manager, you need to relax more.
He sounded like a disappointed boyfriend. You smiled into the cushion, deciding not to retort, and just let him do his job. His mechanical thumbs dug into your soft flesh, rubbing over your tense muscles. The pressure was just right, and you could feel every millimeter of him. He squeezed, the tension felt not just right, making you moan. It was a good pain. His thumb wiggled over it in an attempt to open it.
I'm detecting an increased heartbeat. Are you all right, Miss Manager? Just keep going.
You shouted. Fuck, this felt so good. Your eyes rolled back, right leg twitching to soothe yourself. And then you could feel his fist rolling over your spine.
Fuck!
He retreated.
Did I hurt you?
If you pull back again, I'll scrap you. He blinked confused. Moon didn't fully understand why you were threatening him, but he continued his work, practically liquefying your muscles with mechanical precision. Touches and rubs, the smell of the essential oils, and the numbing feeling of your relaxing body was practically making you purr. The excitement and his ministrations were making you sweat. But then he suddenly stopped. With a heavy blush, you turned to face him. What?
I'm uncomfortable.
That made you blush even more, and this time out of embarrassment. It felt really good. You could hear his endoskeleton click. You know I can't see your facial expressions. He placed a hand on his masked face.
I'm smiling, Miss Manager.
Dryly, you replied. Right.
May I suggest one of the hot tubs then?
You really don't want to touch me anymore? He blinked, processing what you just said, and after a few seconds, you tilted your head.
My programming prevents me from answering that question.
A coy smile appeared on your lips. Oh, really, mermaid boy? You could hear the noise of metal teeth pressing onto metal teeth, a sign he was grinding. But then you jumped off the massage bench. Moon, you better delete everything that happens tonight. You purred as you walked towards the door to the rest of the spa. He just nodded and followed you. You're about halfway to the nearest tub when he asked,
I know it is more efficient to keep it off, but it is against FASBA rules to waltz around the spa in your state of undress.
You turned around to face him. Don't act like you don't like what you see. He blinked.
My program prevents me from answering that inquiry.
Your eyes narrowed. Exactly. You winked. Reaching for your belt, you pulled it off your jeans after stepping in next to the tub. You turned it on while you kicked off your pants and underwear. Stepping into the already hot bubbly water, you made your lips quiver. You hummed as you sunk below chest height. Moon stepped behind you, his hands firmly placed on your shoulders.
You know, Miss Manager, you could do this every night. It's your franchise, and you're the only human employee.
Right, Your muscles suddenly tensed up in embarrassment. He had hit the perfect spot.
My programming prevents me from...
I get it. You exhaled, swiping your hair back. You sighed. If you want to touch me more intimately, just do it. Don't dance around the subject. His red eyes widened, with something that was between horror, surprise, and delight. Come on, hop in. Moon sat down at the edge of the hot tub opposite to you before you audibly heard the clicking of his legs connecting. His pants weren't just pants. One, they were made out of soft silicone, just like the covering on his hands. And they had electric magnets, allowing them to be attached together. Hydraulics beneath created the desired form. He officially was a mermaid, or, well, merman now. He slid into the hot tub, forcing you to slide to the side of the hot tub so he could spread out his new fishtail. He looked at you with a tilted head. His hands twiddled in his lap.
So what now?
Leaning forward, you purred. I very much enjoyed your massage, Moon. You let your hand seductively slide down your chest. You know, if you wanted to touch me, you could have just asked. Though you would have probably said no, since you hadn't been in the mood until he started squeezing your muscle just right to get you going. But it was nice to tease him. Go on, touch them. I am not programmed, you interrupted him by grabbing his wrist, placing it where you felt it belonged in this situation. His right eyelid twitched. He was processing this, as whatever was happening next. As you climbed on top of him, he definitely wasn't programmed for. Good job for reaching this point in the video. Typing cucumber water in the comments below to show everyone that you did. Anyways, we reached also the ending of the video, and I would like to shout out all of my lovely channel members, specifically my darling stewards. We have Mimi Momo, Jaws, Melofia, Maxicat, Allison Watkins, Mystic Jade 111, Giovanna Moretti, Twilight Mia, Angry Boxman, Hella, Anonymous Weep, and Nicodemus D. Without you, I could not do this. And without my other channel members, I could not do this either. Your support is greatly appreciated. And please remember to like and subscribe. That would really help me out, as that also tells the YouTube algorithm that you enjoyed the video. And it would lead to my video being more advertised. So please do that. Thank you.